He's going to be doing a 91 or
95.
95
yeah.
Lexus LS400. It's a 400,
yeah,
LS400. More or less, he's going to take all the body panels off of that, and then he's going to put this on top of that.
Yeah,
which
so
is the craziest thing.
Yeah, well, okay, so I already took measurements on this. This is obviously a lot wider of a vehicle. It's about a ½ inch wider per side, so an inch total. So it'll fit over the body pretty well once I get rid of, you know, all the external body panels and the doors and all that. But the cool thing is the wheelbase is only a 1/4 inch per wheel well, so a ½ inch total. And you can hide that pretty well. 1/4 inch isn't a big deal on a wheel well. I can honestly change caster in the front end and align the body on the rear and be good to go. And the whole point is that the Lexus is pretty much turnkey drift ready. I welded the diff, it's got knuckles, coils, all that kind of stuff. And that was the original point. I wanted to build like a cheap drift car, and then I saw this and I knew I couldn't turn it down and build something cool. So I imagine I'll be pulling my hair out over the next few months.
Well, luckily, I mean, you're not going to make it like some crazy show car.
No, it's going to look like this with some patch panels and windows.
Yeah.
And a front end. It's going to have a front end on it. So, yeah. I mean, the whole point is keep it simple, but do something different.
Man, crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, I guess stay tuned for that. I don't know. Note that he's standing on the floor. He's cutting out.
I'm just waiting for him to fall through. I need a door handle. Where'd I put it? It's on the 1/4 panel right here. Can you hand me that? Is there a handle?
No.
Like right here?
There's this one.
Yeah, let me see that one.
You reach it?
I got it. Oh, there's door handles on the outside on this side. I forgot. I didn't take them off. I took off like this side and I was like, wait, why do I care? They have to go back on anyways.
It's out.
Hey, I think it's free. You guys think it's out? Could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Alrighty. So that's the front section. Now we go on to the trunk.
Don't do it.
The gas tank's out, right?
The gas tank is literally so far away from this project, I'm pretty sure it's probably already crushed.
It was a little sketchy when you're cutting the gas tank.
I cut the gas tank fuel lines that are hard lines with that shooting sparks full of gas. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's me, Jake. Stole Joey's camera for a few days. He's a little busy right now, but I figured I'd keep us a little updated on what's going on with the Chevy project. Last time you guys saw it, I believe he was seeing me roll it in and cut the floor out of the Chevy. A few things have changed since then. Like I got the entire Lexus underneath. It's a little hard to see, it's a bit dark. You can see right there's the gauge cluster from the Lexus. I had to cut a lot. But Joey's going to go over it a little bit in a video later on. Basically right now I'm going to go up to the store. I got to get hood pins for this thing. I got to figure out a way to make them work. There's actually no hinges on the car, so I can't tilt it up. So what I think I'm going to do is actually just run some straight up to this guy right here, and I'm going to make the hood actually slide out towards us rather than tilting upwards, since all of it has to be serviceable a little bit differently because of the Lexus motor. I really don't think it matters which way the hood comes off. I also got a new, well, a very, very used grill piece for this. It's obviously significantly damaged. I tried to bend it back out and it actually tweaked the whole grill, so I kind of got that put back together. I'll be cutting the rivets off on this tonight, and we'll actually go ahead and open up this package real quick, see how terrible a condition this thing is in. Alrighty. So I waited 3 weeks for this to show up. Had it pulled from a junkyard way down in Texas. It's the only place I could find one that was the correct side. I don't know what it is, but people love destroying the passenger side of these grill pieces. Okay. So it looks like the chrome melted off and somebody resprayed over it. Oh, actually, it's got a bunch of clear coat on it. It's a little bit hard to see with the lighting. Somebody like rattle can clear coat over it. I think I can actually get a buffer and maybe some alcohol and get past all that. But as you guys can see, I don't know if it'll focus. Yeah, it's a lot more dull than what's on the car. Realistically, I don't care. It looks better than, you know, all beat up. So we'll see. Definitely like it more than what's on there. And I can't even mount the grill without doing that. So that'll be the next thing. I'm trying to make it to a car show called Down to Earth Days. Definitely gonna have a lot of work cut out for me in the next, what, 2 weeks? It's the 23rd today and it starts the 9th. But I'm gonna do a 6-point cage in here. First cage I'll ever have done on my own. I gotta do a battery relocation. There's no room underneath here. Gotta put it out in the trunk. I started working on a little janky box for that last night. I got this neat little Freon tank. It's empty, obviously. We use them for work and they're completely safe to throw away when they're done. There's actually an evacuation process before we throw them away. But I figured this would look kind of cool. Turned on its side, all rusted out, hiding the battery below it, and turn that into the cutoff switch. There's actually a metal valve on the inside that makes contact with another point, so I'll use that as the ground, and it'll also act as a kill switch. But for now, guys, I'm gonna head up to the store. I'll let you guys know when I get back to here and get to work. Thanks. Alrighty, so I'm back. I had to go pick up some headlights. Totally forgot about those. Also got some cheap hood pins. I didn't really think it was important getting, you know, super quality hood pins because the way the hood's gonna actually be put on there, I don't have to worry about lifting up. So I need to get the hood actually taken off. I need to get the fenders back off. The reason I got headlights is this car is originally a 6-volt system. So what I have to do is make some connectors that'll go from the Lexus headlight housings, sorry, the Lexus headlight connectors to the standard 3-pin 7-inch headlights. I also got to disassemble these and figure out if I can retrofit that style into these. A lot of people said you can't do it just because this whole chrome piece is actually part of the glass on these. I'm hoping I can just take that out and make it work. So I'm going to set you guys down and get to work. Oh, I have the grill zip tied on there just for now. I got to figure out how to mount this thing because it's totally not going to fit. Alright, so I know you guys haven't really got to see the underlying Lexus portion of the car. So we'll go over that a little bit here. There's the rain tray from the Lexus. Pretty much here's where the factory windshield would sit. So what I really had to do was cut down the front frame. You can kind of see that was actually about out to, we'll say about here-ish. And the issue is obviously the front of the Chevy is a much shorter because the firewall in the Chevy was way back here. The Chevy came with a straight 6. It's a little bit different. The Lexus is a lot more forward. And the reason for that being is I wanted the front wheels to fit perfectly in the wheel wells. If you walk over to the back, they're a bit off center. There's a little black line right there, somewhere right, boop, there. You can see it's about 1.5 inches further forward. I figured that wouldn't be much of a big deal because I can definitely turn those wheels. I couldn't if that was further back. So I'm definitely okay with that. Ignore the rear wheels. I'll have the matching moon eyes for the rear. I'm waiting on tires. They were supposed to show up today. Looks like they're going to come in tomorrow early morning. So I should have all 4 wheels and tires mounted with the moon eyes on there.
the rear end's going to be about another 1.5 inches lower, which I don't know if that's possible. And the coilovers are all the way up, not down, up. So I've got about 4 inches further I can drop it, which isn't physically possible, but it'd look cool. So 3.5 inches or so. Also, there's little fender mounts all throughout. I kind of hit them pretty well. What I gotta do right now is make some upper radiator brackets. Obviously get the fenders off so that way we can work on the headlight housings, get those taken care of. My buddy Jonathan's coming over. He's been helping out a lot lately. Really appreciate that. I mean, really a lot of people have been helping out. This is definitely not a solo project. A lot of dudes from Yankiizoku, as usual. Somebody came over last night. Jack, he's an old coworker of mine. He actually came over and cut all this down and stitch welded the Lexus chassis to the Chevy outer frame, which helped out a lot. It's definitely braced other places, but it's nice to, you know, clean up some air gaps. You know, still have a lot more to do, but clean up a lot of the air gaps. I do have a dash for this as well, a little glove box area. I'm going to put the radio in there and whatnot. But for now, I'm going to continue to take these fenders off, or maybe I'll see if I can... No, they have to come off for sure. There's no way I can do it. So, yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'm an idiot. See that little screw right there? I didn't see that. It's all serviceable from the front. So now I get the privilege of putting my fender back on that I took off for no reason. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you guys what I did over here, just so you can realize how scary this project is, and I shouldn't have done this. Okay. Let's get this thing to focus a little bit. There we are. Alrighty. So, we got Chevy on this side. Come over here and kind of see the undertaking of what all I had to do. Fender had to get cut down significantly. The firewall on the Lexus had to get cut down significantly. This whole empty void actually came out to about here. Issue is it stuck out to about here. It's not all structural. This was just another layer of thin sheet metal. All the door hinges and whatnot for the Lexus doors were hidden inside this entire compartment. So what I had to do is gutted that. I smoothed all the lines out. Welded a upper brace and a lower brace. Got some pretty decent penetration on that too. By the way, I'm not a welder. I'm learning. This is my first big project. But so I've got those two forward braces. Obviously there's some bracing underneath the forward portion of the body that goes to the subframes on the Lexus. But yeah, at least you guys can see that. I also marked all the body lines, so when the fenders go back on each time, it's pretty simple. I made brackets, that way the fenders bolt on in the front right there. Also these cats right here. So what I'm gonna do now, since I have it off actually, is screw it, I'll just put it all back on. Okay, well, it started raining pretty good when I left. So bad that we lost power and I couldn't really continue work for that night. But I did go ahead and wire up the headlights a little bit. I extended the factory harnesses. I don't know if you can see that, but they run all the way up into there. So those work. Got brights and headlights. Over to the back, I did go ahead and install the taillight housings just now. They're actually pretty neat. This doesn't do anything, but I think at a later date I will make it a reverse light or a turn signal light. There's not even a housing on the back side or anything. They're just kind of there for reflection, I believe. I picked up some cable to extend the battery to the trunk. Started to make a little bracket to hold the battery down. We'll do a little bit more work on that. I think that'll be my main priority right now, is getting that battery box all built and welded into the car. Because currently I can't move the car, which kind of sucks. I got new tires for the rear. Went with a, what was it, a 195 50 16 on the rear. And the front is a little baby 175 50 16. I wanted to get that little aggressive look in the rear. The only reason I went with such a tiny width was due to the fact that the Lexus is so wide, I can't even remove the factory wheels with how low I set the body on it. The rear wheels are huge offset. I mean, huge. I can't even touch it with the quarter panel. It's resting on the quarter panel right now. So what I have to do in order to get these rears off is undo the struts, top hats, lower them down, unbolt the wheel, and then I'll put these guys on, and we'll go from there. But for now, I'm going to start working on that battery box and get that going so we can get this thing fired up and moving. The trunk works pretty well. Sweet thing about the Lexus too is that the gas tank is actually mid-mounted, so don't have any issues there. Oh yeah, I gotta make a filler neck too. I might just cut a hole in the body and run the stock one, because it'd look fine. I mean, the gas tank's way over here, or the gas lid's way over here, and that one is supposed to exit over on the passenger side up this way. So probably do that. But for now, here's what I'm working with. Just stuff I had laying around. I'm trying to keep this thing pretty cost effective, obviously. And I thought, you know, something like that with a little bracket to support it down further in the wheel well. Keep it kind of centered inside the frame rail in case something crazy does happen. I don't have to worry about it becoming a pinch point or a fire hazard. I'll probably isolate it from the gas tank a little bit. Not too concerned though. I figure frame rail inwards should be okay. So let's get to that. I just had a realization. I really don't want to run the hook style clamps on this guy. So what I'm going to do now instead is take my battery here, and I want to make some brackets that actually come up to about halfway, or I'm sorry, all the way up, and then I'll make, you know, a tab that goes across that'll bolt in on both sides. You know, just a bit more structural and easier to work with. Just weld the nuts to the bottom side and make it like a hinge style to where I can literally just undo one bolt, pull the battery out, and put a new one in.
Yeah, you're right. Then you know if it's instant cooling of the welds too. As soon as that plastic.
What's that smell?
Yeah. It smells like burning plastic and lead acid.
Is that flammable? Dude, you know what's great? So that battery is actually out of my lift. We can trim those little tabs on the battery, Bart. Should we?
This is crazy.
Hey, what if, will it fit over?
Do you have some moon eyes right now for this?
Yeah.
That I can like put on there and just see?
So, the rears will match the front.
You bend it all out. Like the top, expand the top, and then re-weld it and set those bottom ones.
It opens.
You know what he did is he measured that, and he measured and marked and marked and marked, and then
It's close.
Yeah.
That's not bad, dude.
Well, okay,
Like
so
it fits pretty well.
where all of this is rolled over, we did fold that. This is all internal. The pinch weld was about out to here on the Lexus, and we cut back to where the pinch weld ended.
I see.
So I ran square tubing along the bottom of the Chevy, which you can see kind of sticking up right there, which is now the pinch weld for both of them. And then there's bracing below the body,
Yeah. Right there.
side to side.
Mushroom the top out. Like bend
Wow.
Yeah, there's still a lot of welding to do. That rear apron's getting welded on tonight.
This is fine. The length is fine. The width just gets really.
The firewall on the Lexus was 4.5 inches too wide.
I mean, it's better than throwing out. I mean, you can throw it away now or throw it away
A
later.
little bit of sheet metal work to do.
It's not bad.
No, not really.
Those are good tackle.
That's fucking cool, man.
Get in there, man.
So cool.